everybody, my name is Skills and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and how disappointed yet intrigued I am. So the game's been out for a little over a week now, and we've had some time to play through the game, see all the different Pokemon designs, experience graphical hell, and witness the changes that the Pokemon Company and Game Freak made to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and to the Pokemon franchise as a whole. And so I came up with 3 points that I wanted to talk to you guys today about, giving you my insight on how I experienced the game and how I feel the game and experience in the Pokemon Company and all that jazz is going right now. Obviously, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and let's get started. Also, if I'm looking over to this monitor, it's because I have notes. We'll get to those. Okay, thanks. So let's talk about the big elephant in the room, and that is the graphical issues, specifically surrounding the frame rate and low quality textures. Now look, Pokemon has had this problem with the Switch since they started putting games out for this console. My problem here lies with the fact that they have yet to fix it, and the console has existed for 7 years now. Now here's my thing. Breath of the Wild had some problems at the early beginnings, but it is a damn near perfect game now. And the same can be said for Mario Odyssey and plenty of other franchises that play on the Switch. The big thing that I have a problem with is the fact that there is no company closer meshed to Nintendo than the Pokemon Company and Game Freak. The fact that they have not figured out, even though they are starting an open world type Pokemon franchise, that they have not figured out how this console works to make it look. I understand the art styles are going to be different, but the fact that it doesn't run as smooth as a Breath of the Wild or a Mario Odyssey is just sad. If it were a solid cinematic 30 frames a second and it was smooth and there weren't glitches and the textures weren't garbage like half a foot from my face, I could forgive it. If it was running at a solid 30, I could forgive it. For their first attempt to making an open world game, and this is the big thing that I want to bring around to everybody's knowledge, is the fact that this is the first time they've made a real open world game. And a lot of people will say, oh, Legends Arceus. Legends Arceus was not a truly open world game. This game is fully open to adventure, no matter where you go, no matter how you choose to take on any of the specific storylines. It has never been done before with the Pokemon franchise, and therefore they probably didn't have the developers prepared for this type of endeavor. But it still just breaks my mind that we have a Pokemon engine that has been developing on the Switch for 7 years, and it has yet to reach any level, any semblance of success. Now, this being said, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has sold over 10 million units in the first 3 days of release. Nothing is going to change. Pokemon is going to continue to make money, and so they are going to put in less effort, or the same amount of effort that they've been putting in. Now, I will give Nintendo credit. There are rumors that there's a job listing for R&D for next generation hardware and all sorts of different potential jobs that might be new development jobs that work for a different specific, I don't know, like engine, or they're building a whole new engine to do Pokemon stuff, or it could just be for some offshoot games. They could be making Legends better, and I just don't know how to feel about it. At the end of the day, graphical issues this long term spell a problem for me that I just don't know if Game Freak is ever going to recover from. Now, obviously, they sold 10 million units. It's a money truck. There's no way that this money truck is backing up any time soon. But it will start to utterly piss off gamers of my generation, of the 18 to 30s that have loved the franchise since the beginning and just see it constantly get abused with straight up what I would consider negligence. Now let's talk about the different storylines and just story in general in this game. If we can get past the graphical issues that we know we're potentially going to get fixed later, but are a major plague of this game right now, let's talk about the thing that people actually go to games for, and that's the story, how the story develops, the characters that we get to connect with. And for the most part, at the very beginning, it seems like your standard Pokemon game. the rival, the Pokemon giver, because we can't really say that like professors give Pokemon anymore, because we had the champion give it, now we have like the academy dude giving it. The general story of Pokemon is still there. You have you're gonna be a Pokemon trainer, you have a rival, you're gonna receive your first Pokemon from an important story character. All of that seems normal for a Pokemon franchise, so it makes you think, oh well, it's depressing because it's normal, right? Well, with the 3 different branching types of story in Scarlet and Violet, I find that you actually do have an open world, adventuring, real feel of freedom that Pokemon hasn't had for a long time. And I think this level of freedom to tackle the obstacles that you're given, the 3 different storylines, whether you choose the Legends, the Team Star battles, or the actual gym challenge, allows you to freely roam around the cabin, because we're in an airport, I guess, and just actually adventure and take on, while albeit a pretty linear way to handle stuff, at your own pace. And I respect that Pokemon is starting to loosen the reins on the linearity of Pokemon and allowing you to have a little bit more freedom to make the adventure that you want to have. The story itself, nothing too crazy, but the actual ability to adventure is there. And I do respect that the story was there, which is why the graphical issues pissed me off so much, because on multiple occasions it took me out of what was actually starting to engage me as a gamer. And with that, if they fix that, this game's story is a really good step in the right direction. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the Pokemon designs, because they are what are breathing life into the world that we are living in. Just like the story, they are the characters within the story. How do I think Pokemon designs were done well or bad this generation? I think they were good. I think overall there were a lot of good designs in this generation that had me excited about the culture that developed within the region because of the inspiration that it took from Spain. And there were other creations that were just like really cool in general. I think a lot of these different designs are really cool. Now, there are some that are extremely fucking plain, like the flamingo. I don't know that I can forgive the flamingo. It's a really cool typing, but I don't think I can forgive the flamingo. I love the primal forms, having played Scarlet and not Violet, but having seen gameplay of Violet, I'm a very big fan of the primal forms. I don't know how I feel about the like robot forms. They don't necessarily do it for me. You may like the more techie version of it, which is probably why you chose Pokemon Violet in the first place. I am definitely more interested in making the creatures actual creatures, you know, and trying to remove the fact that the legendary is a bike as much as possible. And so I really enjoyed the primal forms, didn't really like the robo forms. Some other overall loves that I actually had for the designs were Baxcalibur. I think that was a super cool Godzilla style dragon design. The whole evolution line was super cool looking the entire time, really engaging, baby to big boy. Like, it was great. I think Skeldridge was amazing. I think that was my favorite starter by far. I always choose a grass type at the very first try, but I love the design of the fire starter. Overall, I think it was really, really cool. And can I just say that Lokix is a cool design. I never thought a grasshopper could look badass, but it makes me want to do like an all bug type run of this game, and I've never felt that way before, ever. And I loved Vikavolt and I loved Galvantula, and I never ever felt that way about bug types. So kudos to Game Freak and the entire Pokemon Company development team for making some really cool art and designs that take really good inspiration from the region. Also, this is my Pokemon team. If you care at all, I think it's really cool. Please don't judge me too hard on the comment section. Overall, my view of this game is if you can get past the graphical errors and the glitches that may or may not be fixed by software updates, this game was a solid first step for Game Freak into going into the open world design. And if they continue to hire developers to either work in a new engine that has been developed and worked in the past for other game series, like I hear they're expanding into potentially Unreal developers, that would be awesome. Or if they just even more fine-tune the hardware and the software that they are already developing to make the engine of their worlds better, I'm for that too. I just want the game to be graphically perfect so that it never takes me out of the good stories that they're starting to write, the great character designs and the great Pokemon designs that they continue to come out with year after year. I'm excited for the future of Pokemon because of the two main factors of story and design. I fear for its future and how it would handle a Switch Pro or how it would handle the Switch going forward. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.